you're watching Shalom World News. I'm Donna Villa coming to you from Chicago, USA. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. According to estimates of the United Nations, as many as 2,000 children recruited by Houthi rebels in Yemen as child soldiers were killed in battles between January 2020 and May 2021. In the report prepared by experts for the UN Security Council, 1,406 children recruited by the Houthis between the age of 10 and 17 were killed on the battlefields in 2020. Another 562 lost their lives between January and May of 2021. So far, 10,000 children have lost their lives since the beginning of the civil war in 2015. In the 300-page report submitted on Saturday, the UN experts said that the Houthi rebels recruit children through summer camps and indoctrinate them through mosques. While many children are captured from their homes, the families are threatened with blockage of humanitarian aid if they do not send their children. Today, St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York, here in the U.S., will witness a sea of blue as hundreds of New York Police Department officers will take part in the funeral service of WILBERT MORA, the second of the two officers who were killed in a gun attack on January 21. A large number of policemen also attended the funeral service of Detective Jason Rivera, the other officer who died in the attack at St. Patrick's Cathedral last week. 27-year-old Mora succumbed to bullet injuries at the hospital, while fellow officer Rivera died on the spot after being shot dead while responding to a domestic violence call in Harlem. The former commanding officer of the New York Police Department's ceremonial unit, Lieutenant Tony Giorgio, said, quote, "The hole in everyone's heart is that we lost two brothers in a brutal and vicious way," end quote. In Kenya, at least 13 people were killed in an explosion when a bus in which they were traveling ran over a concealed roadside bomb on January 31st. The incident took place in northeastern Kenya, near the border of Somalia, where terror attacks are rampant. Investigators believe that members of the Somalia-based AL-SHABAAB Islamist terrorist group are behind the attack. According to the police report, the incident took place at 7 a.m., about 8 kilometers from Madera, town of northeastern Kenya. After the blast, around 6 armed men suspected to be Al-Qaeda-allied Al-Shabaab militants attacked the passengers. The immediate response of the patrol group prevented further casualties. The blast is the 9th terror attack in Kenya since the beginning of this year. The Holy Father Pope Francis has appointed the Bishop of the Portuguese Diocese of Setúbal, Monsignor José Ornelas Carvalho, as the new shepherd of the Diocese of Lyra Fatima, from which comes the world-famous Marian Sanctuary of Our Lady of Fatima. It was on January 28th that the Holy See announced that Bishop Carvalho will succeed Cardinal Antonio Marto, the Bishop of Lyra, who resigned as he turned 75, the canonical age of retirement, in May of 2021. Cardinal Marto will still oversee the diocese until the installation of Bishop Carvalho on March 13. The head of the Portuguese Bishops' Conference, Bishop Carvalho, hails from the island of Madeira. A member of the Congregation of the Priests of the Heart of Jesus, he was ordained in 1981 and served as a missionary in Mozambique before returning home for higher studies. He was the Superior General of his congregation from 2003 through 2015 when Pope Francis made him Bishop of Setúbal. Ad multos años to the bishop-elect. In what is seen as yet another move to stall pro-life efforts in the U.S., the Biden administration's Department of Health and Human Services has announced the formation of a task force on reproductive health care access. This comes as the HHS has tagged abortion as essential health care, and the task force will be mandated with removing obstacles to the termination of pregnancy. The HHS will also provide $2 million in Title X grant funding for Planned Parenthood to, quote, protect reproductive health care and ensure access to quality family planning services, end quote. The task force will be led by HHS Assistant Secretary for Health, Rachel Levine, and Assistant Secretary for Global Affairs, Lois Pace. The new task force has been formed at a time when the Supreme Court is preparing to come out with a verdict in the Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization that could possibly overturn Roe versus Wade. Invoking the guidance of the Holy Spirit, members of the legal fraternity in Melbourne, Australia, took part in the annual Red Mass at St. Patrick's Cathedral on January 31st, marking the beginning of the legal year. The Holy Mass was offered by Archbishop Peter Comensoli and was attended by 100 legal representatives, including judges of the high, federal, supreme, and county courts. In his homily, the prelate expressed gratitude for their work on justice. He also invoked the Holy Spirit's gifts of wisdom, understanding, counsel, and fortitude on the congregation. The Red Mass is a tradition that dates back to the Middle Ages when judges in England went in procession from the Temple Bar to Westminster Abbey for Holy Mass, in which the celebrant wore red vestments marking the presence of the Holy Spirit. The British daily Guardian has exposed a network operated by a Turkey-based Uzbek national who helps members of the Islamic State relocate to the West from Syria and Iraq with the aid of fake passports. The Guardian report says that US and Europe are the most preferred destinations of such militants. Using almost accurate official visas and travel stamps, the Uzbek national has supplied fake passports at least 10 times to the militants, allowing them to travel to the United Kingdom, European Union nations, United States, and Canada, where they can begin life anew undercover. Some of the other destinations are Niger and Mauritania in Africa and Afghanistan. The fake passports cost up to $15,000 each. The report says that the Uzbek operator uses interlocutors fluent in Russian, Arabic, and other languages to communicate with his clients. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us tomorrow. In the meantime, you can visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.